I started teaching in 1972.
From 1978 to 84.
I started teaching in 1999.
In 2005.
In 2009, I had always said I was not going to be president, that was not going to be a thing, and then you find a love and passion for it. So 2018, I took on the role for president and did that for 4 years and never looked back.
I was approached, I'll use the nice word, by two of the most active teachers in UFEA at the time, Sonny Rogers and Greta Armstrong, who taught in my building at Parkside Junior High. And they came down and said, would you like to be a building rep? And of course I had no idea what a building rep was. And they told me all you have to do is go to a meeting once a month and put things in people's mailboxes. And I thought, okay, I can do that. Little did I know.
I first got involved in UFEA because somebody from my previous school district knew somebody in Unit 5 and had told them that I'd been involved in bargaining. But since I was moving into Unit 5, I tried to keep my head down as much as possible during my first few months at least, but somebody had tapped me and kind of said, hey, I heard that you were involved in your previous district. I said, yeah, I was, and I really enjoyed it. And so they said, well, why don't you come to this meeting and you can do something for us? And it was a great way for me to learn how the organization worked, and it got me involved in meetings and got me to network with people that I wouldn't have met otherwise because they came from all over the district.
In my time where I was a UFEA member as opposed to a staff person helping UFEA, those were decent years for bargaining initially, but we had a lot of challenges as that time went on, as finances started to not be as good. But I think for me, what I really saw during that time period was the local getting more and more politically active. We got really involved in school board elections, referendum efforts, and I think those kinds of things that we got involved in beyond just the pay and benefits for our folks really was a huge gain for UFEA that we've been able to build on over time.
Well, the challenges that we dealt with just before I was UFEA president was the fact that we didn't have a contract. And everything that we got was if the board chose to give it to us or not. From whether you could wear slacks to school. I remember my first day when I could show up at school in a matched pantsuit, to having paid maternity leave. The challenges were getting past that mentality that they would give us what they wanted. And during my first year as a contract, we started bargaining because the bargaining bill passed. So the challenges were everything that we didn't have because we didn't have a contract.
When I first started, we had something called permission absence. We didn't have a way to take a day off that was in a contract. So permission absence said if you were in building A, you had to go to your principal and say, my child is graduating from college and I need to have this day off. If your principal liked you, they would say, sure, of course, you can't miss that. If you were in building C and your relationship may not be that friendly with your principal, you may ask for the same thing and not get that permission to go. So permission absence was definitely not equity throughout the district. So we eventually got personal leave into our contract with language that there would be no questions asked. You could just have those 2 days per year. So that helped everyone not have to go and beg or have a close relationship with their principal in order to get the time off.
One of the things we did is we had rallies at the Unit 5 board office, and these were well attended. We have teachers, hundreds of teachers outside the board office when we were going through the negotiation process. And they were extremely supportive. And after a bargaining session, we would come outside, the bargaining team, we would stand and sometimes in the back of pickup trucks, and we would be urging on our membership and kind of inciting them to show support for the board, and we'd have these chants that we would have about UFEA and teachers deserve more and so forth, and it was a very exciting time, and they were very loud and boisterous events, and so the rallies really played I think a big role, and I think the board really realized, my goodness, these teachers, they're upset.
I think what I was most proud of during my time as a UFEA leader was our effort and really success in a lot of ways in being able to work with our school district administrators and our school board members in a more collegial way. I think we really started in earnest to be able to have honest conversations with them about things that were going on in the district, and really being involved in decision making and being seen more as partners in that. It wasn't perfect. We never did, we never did get that implemented 100%, but I think we did get to the place where, for the most part, our administrators, our central office administrators, were at least thinking about how we could be involved in decision making, and were at least considering our ideas. I think we had moved away by the end of my time. I think we had moved away from the idea that that administrators can just decide whatever they want to decide, and then it's up to us to live with that decision.
I think the thing that I'm most proud of after fulfilling my 2 terms as president of the Unit 5 Education Association is the leadership that came after me. Lindsay Dickinson was an amazing president, and Julie Hagler has been an amazing president. And so knowing that I in some way contributed to the success that the union is having now it's really humbling. It's really humbling to have watched Lindsay step into leadership and weather us through COVID, and then to watch Julie Hagler and her bargaining team step into what was a tough bargain and make such great contract wins. Knowing that I had some small part of that really brings me joy.
I feel like this is a community that supports you regardless of what happens. We're here as a union to support each other through our professional endeavors. We are helping each other navigate evaluations and about classroom and about teaching practices. But also on a personal level, we are absolutely a family for one another. When something happens to each other, we are there with helping, either send flowers or provide emotional support, and without having my union backing, I would never probably have stayed in this career, and nor would I have moved forward in the different leadership positions. So for me, I think that if you want to be in a supportive family, your union is the first place to go.
The friendship that we made, the collegiality that we had, the professionalism, the sharing of concerns, the working together to feel like we were a part of a team that could make a difference finally, rather than being the victims of whatever the board wanted to give us. So it was that comradeship that was formed and the team that became a group of people that made a difference for the students and the schools and the fellow teachers. That's my fondest memory.
I'm really excited to wish the Unit 5 Education Association a happy 70th anniversary.
Happy 70th anniversary. It's been an amazing 70 years of advocacy and growth, and I'm really excited about what the future years are going to bring.
Happy 70th anniversary, UFEA. I think it is remarkable that you and I are about the same age.
Happy anniversary, 70th anniversary to UFEA, and UFEA has had a major impact in impacting the lives of so many teachers over the years. I've greatly benefited from UFEA, and so recognition, well deserved.